Hello Last of Us fans of YouTube and welcome to another That's Just Joe video. My name's Joe and that's about it. So this is a bit of a quick video just to talk about how I'm feeling about the Last of Us TV show so far. We've just finished off episode 4, going into episode 5 on Friday, which is coming out earlier due to the Super Bowl and everything, so I'm very excited. Okay, overall thoughts. Now, I have to admit, I have not played the video game. Don't come after me, but I am really enjoying this show. I think it's incredible. It's raw as hell. These two, Pedro Pascal was Joel, and oh god, her name has completely left my mind, but it'll come to me in a minute. But Ellie, the character Ellie, fantastic. These two are absolutely fantastic in this show. I'm really feeling the tension ramping up. I feel like we're going to hit like collateral sort of boom soon with these two. Again, I've not played the game, so I don't really know what's coming. I knew what was going to happen in the first episode because I think a lot of people knew what the setup for the Last of Us game was. So I fully expected that going into episode 1. But I have to say, this show is well shot. It is well executed. The acting in it is incredible. Some of the stories in this, I don't even know where it's going to go, and that's the fantastic thing about just being a regular audience member going into the show, not having played the video game or not really had it spoiled. There's a few elements I know, but nothing big. I know part 2, The Last of Us game, is all about Ellie when she's a bit older. I think it's a few more years in the future, and I've noticed Joel's not around, unless he let her go or something bad happened to him, so I'm very nervous. So don't spoil it for me in the comments or anything, because I will be very upset with you. But in terms of the game, I'm just, I've heard so many things about this game. Came out in 2014, obviously, and I've heard comparisons between the episodes that have recently come out compared to the game, and there are quite a few differences. And one of those the biggest difference so far in The Last of Us TV show is the story of Bill and Frank, and that was in episode 3. That has to be one of my favourite episodes so far. This story was brilliant, and you get all the homophobic people and just people that hate gay lovers and all that going, oh, it's not like the video game. It would be boring if it was just if it just matched everything in the video game. That would be very boring. We've had that before with video game adaptations. I loved this story, kind of showing these two living in the world post-pandemic, after the infection spread across the world, and how they survive. And there's beautiful love story growing and everything. And I was emotional by the end. I'm sure you were emotional by the end of it. This story was fantastic. And to be honest, I had a look at what the game originally entailed in terms of these two story. And yeah, it was still sort of hard hitting and everything, but I like how they changed the characters, basically. I love the story they did. Really set over, I think it was like 20 years. It's set over 20 years, isn't it? Because it's 20 years in the future from 2003 to now. I loved it. I really loved it. A lot of heart, a lot of emotion. And the way they wrap in Joel and Ellie's story into the show, leading up to that thing where they go to Bill and Frank's house and everything. I'm trying to not give too many spoilers away just in case you haven't watched it, but it was fantastic how they kind of tell these stories, different stories from different parts together. I thought it was really incredible. But again, I'm loving these two. I love Pedro Pascal, seriously. Man after my own heart. He is fantastic in this role. I'm glad he's not just doing the usual, you're like my daughter and I'm an angry man all the time. He actually has a bit of heart, and we saw that in episode 4 when him and Ellie were laughing after a terrible joke she told from a book and everything. So you're seeing that relationship really bond, that they're bonding so well. But I feel like it's going to ultimately crash, and I'm very worried. I think that's what I'm more tense about than the infected running about and these psychos out there in these cities and everything. I'm more worried about their relationship breaking, because if that relationship breaks, who knows what will happen? Well, you might do if you played the video game, but again, it's not a shot-for-shot adaptation of the video game, so they could slightly go in a different direction. I don't think they'll completely change the trajectory of the story. I just think it's going to go slightly different, like in terms of how they play these pieces of the puzzle and everything. But again, The Last of Us, really enjoying it. Thought I'd just give my thoughts quickly. Really looking forward to the next. I mean, there's 9 episodes in this series, and they've confirmed season 2 is coming out, so we're definitely getting that Last of Us Part 2 adaptation. And I'm really looking forward to the future of this show. It's a shame because I think it's only going to be 2 seasons, unless they announce a 3rd game and then make an adaptation of the 3rd game. But you know, video games take a long time to make, and I really hope they go into production of season 2 very quickly, because the problem is with these shows and everything, as fantastic as they are, you forget them. You do. After years and waiting for a sequel and a second series in this instance, you can forget, and then you have to go back and watch the 9 episodes and everything. And that's the problem with today's television. They see how successful it is at first, then they go into pre-production or production of the next one, then it does come out for another 2 years. I had that experience with Hunters on Amazon. I thought that was a great show, but due to the pandemic, obviously, but lots of reasons why it didn't start production till later, and we only just got a second and final season on Amazon at the beginning of 2023. Bear in mind, this show came out in 2019, so that's my main worry about The Last of Us Season 2. I feel like we're going to be like, oh, yeah, I don't remember what happened in the first season, but to be honest, the performances, the storytelling in this show kind of imprints it into your brain, and you'll never forget some of the moments in this show, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where the show goes in the future. Anyway, guys, that was just my thoughts on the first 4 episodes of The Last of Us. I think it's an incredible show. What do you think of it? Are you enjoying it? Are you not enjoying it? Let me know in the comments below, but make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching. I've been That's Just Joe.